Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Pre-Order Bonus Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Warren, and I'm joined, as always, by the Pixel Professor, Jacob Price. It's February 12th, 2026. We're back to talk about video games. Jake, pretty much everybody at the High Guard Studios got laid off.
Yep.
You know,
Dang.
you can't make video games anymore in 2026. You just can't do it anymore. Just don't even try. Just don't even try.
Don't even.
So this one is obviously incredibly sad and stupid that a ton of people had to lose their jobs, but dude, I'll just say this about Highguard. And I just read one of the developers posted a tweet because now you can do like long form content on X, right? So you can post like articles. I think it was like an X article that he posted and I just read it. Super sad, man. Like these developers did not deserve the hate that they got. They did not deserve to be review bombed on Steam. Content creators like fostering and promoting negativity because it gets them so many views to like hate on stuff, dude. It's like the algorithms promote and boost negativity actively. They just do better. And the content creators got a hold of that and they took it to High Guard. And this isn't a bad video game. I actually played an hour of this. It's not bad. I will say, like, there's two sides to this coin. There's the one side where no game developer or studio team deserves the hate that this game got. No game does. It's definitely unwarranted. Steam needs to introduce better systems for people being able to give reviews. You had people review bombing the game on Steam who had not even played like 15 minutes. Like a match is like 30. So Steam's got to have better systems in place for that. I don't know what that is, but anyway, this game is also not that great. So I think there's two sides to the coin where it's like, yeah, it didn't deserve it. We need better systems in place. That being said, like, did the gamers kill the game and did it deserve to be killed by the gamers? No, it didn't. But it's also just like wasn't that good. It just wasn't that good. So yeah, man, it's a weird one where it needed more time in the oven. It needed more testing. It needed more player feedback. There's some really, really interesting ideas in there, like some really cool ideas, like the horseback riding and like kind of the big map area. And then you kind of had like the hero abilities. But getting all that to work together in a packaged up thing that feels fun and cohesive and feels rewarding, that just wasn't quite there yet. And that's like the tough part about making video games, right? Is like you have all these cool ideas, but if you can't package up in a way that's compelling for several hours at least, like it's just not going to work.
Yeah, I mean it's never good news to just hear that like a game within 2 weeks of launch is just totally toast and the studio is pretty much dismantled at that point. Yeah, so of course our heart goes out to the devs. I don't know, man. This is weird. I cannot help but compare this to Apex Legends when it launched.
Yeah.
As kind of like this other moment in time where this kind of out of the blue, massive, multiplayer free-to-play game like was successful.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a chance to really participate in this conversation in our Discord, but I was kind of reading over it over the course of the day just because I was in class and I was busy. It's interesting. It's like, is the system broken, or how is the system broken, or is the system not broken? And I think it's fascinating, right? Like, I think ideally in the video games industry, you want a game to come out fully baked and fun, and you want it to find its audience, and its audience plays it and enjoys it, and it has enough of an audience for that game and studio to be sustainable,
Right.
Meaning that they make at least enough money back that they can keep staying in business.
Right.
Like, we agree that that's like the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
Right? And this to me, I just can't help but wonder, like, is the free to play model, it's it's like an incredible model to get a huge player base, but is it maybe actually one of the worst ways to try to have a sustainable studio? Just because you don't have literal buy-in for what the game is. I mean, what does it take? What caliber of game does it really take for a free-to-play system like price model to really work? And if we look at like long-term stalwarts here, it's gonna be like Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite's the number one example, right? I think Apex Legends, right? Like that's still going. Like, and I'm asking more questions than I'm providing insight because
Right.
just the news of this is just making me just kind of reflect. It's like, okay, Apex Legends, the industry was in such a different time where you could shadow drop a game over the course of a weekend. Like first like tidbits of it came out like 24 hours before it was available to the public,
Right.
and that worked. And here it was like you had 6 weeks heads up notice from the Game Awards, and then this game launches free to play. Like, what's the difference? And I, like I said, I don't have answers. Like I'm looking for insight here, right?
I mean, look, lots of companies fail, lots of startups fail, but I do think there's something like specific to gaming where the strategic model for bringing a game to market is inherently broken.
Okay, so that part of the system in our like ideal scenario is broken.
I personally think it is. That's my personal opinion. I think it's a broken model. Meaning like the people that are the decision makers that are developing the strategy for what game to build, the scope of the game and how much it costs to build, how much to sell it for, how to bring it to market and bring it to players and make it good, that is broken.
Okay.
Broken in the sense that like obviously there are games that are breaking that model and they're doing things in a way that is more successful. I think a lot of these games that release and flop in the spectacular way that we've seen a couple of these flop, Concord being one of the more recent ones, and then obviously Highguard's like Concord 2.0. It's like Concord again.
Yeah.
And the reason it's Concord again is because it's the same thing. Do you think, Jake, is there like game developer Stockholm syndrome? Do you think?
Where like you have to get this project out.
What I mean
Like, no
is
matter what, or in what
you
way?
believe that your game is incredible even when it's not, because you work on it every day and it's your baby. Because it's the same things that people are saying about Concord are saying about Highguard. Like everybody who worked on it was like, everyone told us this was going to be like, there's no way this could fail. This is the next greatest like FPS game that's ever been made. They're all saying the exact same thing. But then people play it, myself included, with like not a toxic gamer eye, like really interested in like, oh, let's go play this thing. And then coming away and be like, it's mid, right?
I mean, I think you're right. Like, at least in the case of Highguard, I mean, this was the closer at the Game Awards. Jeff Keighley, you know, and listen, for all of his flaws, the guy does like video games.
Yeah,
you know?
for
And
sure.
he's genuinely hyped at the end of the Game Awards 2025, talking about this game that he's shocked that no one's heard about because, or it hasn't been, and nothing's been leaked on it, right? It's been developed in like total secrecy, and then he reveals this thing, right? And it just like didn't fit the pattern for what typically happens at the end of the Game Awards, right? And so I think you have millions and millions of eyeballs on this thing. It's not what people expect, right? And they kind of carry that chip on their shoulder going into the game. And so I think for the case of Highguard, like, that marketing's tough. But to kind of get to your point, behind the scenes, you have somebody like Jeff Keighley saying, this is the coolest thing in the world. I desperately want to show this at the Game Awards because I think it's super worthy of hype. I think this comes down to just like, I don't think no individual gamer actually represents gamers at large in terms of reception.
That's what I said. Like part of this model is like, and what I mean by I say like the strategic model, I mean like they spent way too much money way too fast for too much game with too much on the line all at once, right? It was like you needed to make like a bare bones early access version of this thing, get it out in the wild, right? And like iterate, like with a small team. Like I don't know. There just needs to be a change. And obviously, there are teams that are doing this and are being successful. That being said, we also only hear about. I guess that's not true. In video games, we hear about the failures as well as the successes. So I guess it's different than like the business world. The business world, you don't hear about the failures. You only hear about like the companies that made it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, it's weird, dude. Like it's weird. It just needed more time. Like it just needed more time and more testing and more iteration. Like it wasn't like a bad shell. It just needed more. It needed an early access period. It needed.
I knew we were going to come to this because you and I, in our experience, right? And of course, we're armchairing here a little bit about this, but in our experience, like there are so many net benefits to early access, right? And I just wonder why. I guess because we see so many success stories of early access, and maybe this isn't like maybe we don't hear the examples of early access games that don't ever make it, but I would just love to know why, if it's an option on the table, a studio would not choose early access. And I mean this genuinely. Like,
yeah,
I do not understand, and I'm looking for understanding here.
At this point in time in 2026, there's absolutely no. You have to do it, in my opinion. Like you have to. You have to get You have to get constant, unending player feedback, like, and continue to iterate, and you have to give yourself enough runaway in order to do that. And if you hired too many people, and there's some rumor that got flung around that the budget for Highguard was like 200 million or something like stupid, right? So it's like, dude, whoa, if your budget's like 200 or 150 million for a sort of semi-independent studio, it's probably not that high. I think that was hearsay, but still, even if it was like close to 100 million or even like 50 million, if you don't give yourself enough time and then you release a free-to-play game and you assume like, oh, everyone's telling us it's so good, and then you release it and it drops to 5,000 players concurrently within the first like 6 hours, it's over. And then you fire everybody. And then you just have a skeleton crew that like maybe keeps the servers on. It's like you're not going to develop new content now. Now you're just doing like quality testing and maybe fixing bugs. So
yeah. That I think that's the kind of a shame, right? There's no window for that product to change. I think this is something interesting about video games as a medium and both as an industry, where the product doesn't have to be final. And this is a double-edged sword, because I know there's a million people who are going to complain of like, well, that just means developers, they don't release the full product and they just wait till later and sell it as DLC. Like, no, that's not the argument I'm trying to make here, right? What I'm trying to say here is that like there is a precedent and is widely accepted in the video games industry that you can release something at launch and that it can be subject to change over time. Unlike something like film. The only time I've ever heard about that in recent memory was the movie Cats. You know, the live action one with Taylor Swift?
Yes, I never saw it. I heard it was very bad.
I also heard it was very bad. There's this, I believe it was a Kotaku article that wrote how they were shipping out different versions of the movie after it had originally released in theaters that had fixed some of the CGI problems with like the cat paws, maybe.
All right.
I'm paraphrasing and half remembering, but like that's weird. That doesn't happen in movies. You have a final product and it sucks and it sucks and it sucks forever, right?
Yeah. Like so once you release to the theater and you did your marketing campaign, it's like kind of over.
Yeah, it's like it's over, and you're just kind of at the.
And that's why
of who gets it.
That's why you do test screenings.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, look, I get the argument, like you mentioned, like how come they can't just make a game like they used to in the old days, and they just release it and it costs money, and it's like I think because game development's just like different now. Like it costs more money. Yeah. Gamers expect way more, right? Like it's different. Like they expect way more features, way more quality of life, way deeper progression systems. You can't just drop an arena shooter in someone's lap and like have it be fun and it's good enough. Halo Infinite, great example.
Yeah.
right? Incredible arena shooter, fantastic. So,
Yeah.
by like, it should be doing gangbusters, but it didn't because the progression sucked and they couldn't make new content fast enough.
Yeah, and the wild thing, you and I will be the final two Spartans on the hill of Halo Infinite. I swear. Um, yeah, I think one of the things, like, I think Halo Infinite is a great example because, yeah, that game, and I even played it not too long ago. Dude, it still feels
Yeah,
incredible
it's
to play.
incredible. It's good.
But the expectation, right, is this meta progressive battle pass needs to function a certain way, and it just never did for Halo Infinite. And I think it's just kind of wild. Um, I think maybe part of this too is just like the oversaturation of the games market. Like as a player, like we and many people, right? We always complain about our backlogs, but like seriously, if a game like Highguard comes out and it feels okay at best, like, dude, why would I sink, 20 more hours into High Guard if I know I've got something else that right up to bat? It's not like I'm playing High Guard and
Well,
then waiting around 6 months for something else to come out.
yeah, I mean, this we've also not mentioned the fact that multiplayer game, like, people don't stop playing the never-ending games that are the beast
Yeah.
in the market. So that's another like big underpinning to this is like that the first person shooter market has become impenetrable, notwithstanding Arc Raiders, kind of breaking that mold recently.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
it's like, how did Arc Raiders make this work?
because Arc Raiders is good.
It's so funny because
How did it get
that
good? I don't know, but I think they did a lot of testing, and they also had an open beta as well.
some sort of feedback, right? Yeah, I just think long gone are the days of Apex Legends, and I couldn't tell you exactly why. But just dropping a game with little marketing or shadow dropping it as your solo marketing is just, I think it's just
Well,
too risky, right?
and if you think about Apex Legends, even as your example, you had Titanfall 1, which was mediocre. Titanfall 2, same team, way better. Still didn't
Yeah.
really break mainstream, but had an amazing, single player campaign. All that experience then rolled into Apex Legends. You can't do that anymore. You get one shot, one game. You can't do like first
Yeah.
game that's like okay and sells okay, and then the next game is like incredible. Can't do that anymore.
Okay, I see what you mean, right? Like in terms of just studio longevity,
Yeah, you don't get
right?
a
Like,
base. You don't get a base hit, and then the developers stay together. They get the experience. They get like the expertise. These are these lagging indicators in business, in like the business of games, that big execs and private equity firms don't pay attention to, which is how do you actually make good games? Well, you keep the super talented artists together for a long enough time that they become extremely skilled at their craft, in their engine, with their lore and their story, and like you combine all those elements in this like big magic pot, and that's how you end up with incredible video games, like From Software being a great example, right? Like, how long
yeah,
has that team been there making games for 25 years
long
now or something
time.
stupid?
Hmm.
Nintendo, right? Like, same guy who was you know an artist on Link to the Past was the creative director on Tears of the Kingdom, right? Like 30 years later, or however long it was. That's the kind of stuff that the money doesn't pay attention to, but it should.
Right. I see what you're saying there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can move on. I think obviously it's really sad. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that kind of yeah,
Jake,
that's what we got.
moving to a more positive note, anything stand out to you today at the state of play?
So I didn't get to watch it live, and I've mostly got recap articles that I've been skimming through, and so I've
Mm-hmm.
been looking through them. Some news things that I enjoyed hearing. Beast of Reincarnation has a date. It's August 4th. So cool. That game I think is definitely coming out. Like based on the developer direct from Xbox and then now this. It's like great. That game I think is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it, and it's actually going to release, and cool. Ghost of Yotei Legends. speaking of like multiplayer games, and Sucker Punch has a history. It's what you've said, right? They've got a history, they've got experience. I know this is going to be a very good time. Man, call me crazy, but the weird chicken musu game, is that going to be fun? Like that looks like a good time to me. I know you don't really love like musu games or whatever, and maybe it's not a musu game, but like
The chicken
what
game.
the heck is this? The chicken game, dude. Like I am so far. It's like based on a best-selling novel from Korea, maybe I think. Um, I'm gonna probably play it. Maybe I'll get it later when it's on sale. But I'm like, dude, this doesn't look half bad. And then just real quick, two other things. I was recently complaining about how hard it would be to play Metal Gear Solid 4, and now it's being released on modern consoles, so I'll finally get to be able to play that one. And then what was the other one? Oh, the Rayman collection, man. Isn't there a Rayman? Yeah, 30th anniversary edition. I have some memories of playing Rayman on a PC way back in the 90s. I think I might grab that.
Rain Man. Yeah, that's a Rayman Legends is a great game. Um,
Yeah.
dude, the chicken game. Dude, I'm just not a fan of Mosu game. As soon as I saw it was a Mosu game, I was like, I'm out. I like the chicken though.
Dude, I don't know why the chicken works. Like it feels like they're being really serious.
The
So
super
I hope it's
jacked,
not like too serious.
the super jacked chicken. Yeah. Um,
Super jack chicken,
there's
dude.
gonna be people like thirst trapping the chicken on the internet for sure. Uh,
They already are, I'm sure.
yeah, this one was weird. Like, I think there was a lot of good stuff announced, but nothing that really either like wasn't new or that I was already excited about. Nothing like that I added to a list and was like, oh yeah, I gotta play this. So at least for me personally, I was excited to see that Legends is coming March 10th though.
Yep, soon. It's got a release date. That's gonna be a good
So
time.
I'm locking in, Jake. I'm locking in this time. Are you in?
Good. I'm in. I'm 100% in this
Let's do
time.
it. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That was probably the most exciting thing at the show. I mean, they showed a bunch of stuff, Saros, different things, 007, all stuff I'm already like excited for. Nothing like new. The John Wick thing is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Have you heard about this game, Pragmata? Has it been featured in 17 showcases before today?
dude,
Maybe. But in
Pragmata's
case
the
you had missed it,
Pragmata's the new Deathloop. They just can't stop showing trailers for this thing.
for real, yeah, this thing is everywhere. I mean, what got me, I was like, okay, I guess there's a demo on PS5. Maybe I'll download it. But knowing myself, I won't.
Yep.
I'll just wait for some reviews and I'll buy it in 3 years when it's $15.
Yeah, Pragmata.
Oh, I missed Kenna. Kenna's getting a sequel. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is getting a
Yeah, that
sequel.
was probably one of the big. Yeah, for sure. That was a big
Yeah, that was
announcement.
cool. I really liked. It's Kena, not Kenna. Whoops, right? Kena Bridge of
I don't
Spirits. I
know.
thought that was a great game. I actually played that game on PS5 on the PS5 version. That game just looks beautiful, and this
It does look
game I
beautiful.
think it's gonna be so good looking. Yeah.
It does look beautiful. Well, Jake, enough about news. Let's get into the topic of today's show, which is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Did I say that right? Ragebound?
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. This came out last year. It is a modern 2D side scroller spin-off of the Ninja Gaiden games. It's a harkens back to the old days of gaming in some really cool ways. Jake, how are we going to break this one down?
We will be talking about Ninja Gaiden Ragebound in three categories this evening. The first one will be the story, the narrative. We'll be talking about how the story happens, who's in it, what happens, and why. If you're a new listener to the show, just know that we really don't go beyond the first 20 or 30% of a game's story. So there might be mild spoilers from the beginning, but nothing substantial. Next up, game design. So we'll be talking about how you interact with the game, what you're actually doing as you play the game, and how those systems work or maybe don't work. And then finally, we get a little more speculative with impact on the industry. In our final category, we just kind of we zoom out and we talk about this game in the broader picture, maybe what it means and how it works, and maybe what notes people are taking in the wake of the game's launch.
Let's talk about the narrative. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. This is basically the plot of what's that movie with Sylvester Stallone?
Which one?
This is no, not Sylvester Stallone. Oh my gosh, I don't know the name of the movie. Not Sylvester Stallone, but the other super jacked 80s action star who does the splits in between like two semi trucks. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, is this Kurt Russell? Are you talking about
No.
Big Trouble in Little?
No, although that is. Oh, I messed up so you can't see Jake because I just clicked off the screen. Oh my gosh, what is this guy's name? 80s action stars. Here we go. I'm gonna find him. Okay, I'll keep looking, but anyway.
Big Trouble in Little China does not age well, just in case people are wondering.
It's the one where I think he's like a martial artist. Oh yeah, here we go. I think I found him. Anyway, this is an 80s film. This is an 80s action movie in the form of a video game with some light Ninja Gaiden like influences. There's a little bit of a mystical element too. Like I actually went into it thinking like you were going to be fighting like another clan or something, but it jumps right in and you're just fighting demons from hell, like straight out the gate.
Yeah. Dude, it was a good time. Yeah.
So basically, like TLDR, you're part of this clan that's like a good clan, and you're like a warrior, martial artist, whatever, and you join up with the Spider Clan. I can't remember what are they called? What's the purple one called, Jake?
Black Spider Clan.
Black Spider Clan. You join up with Chica from the Black Spider Clan in a super interesting way, and you fight these demons like traveling across the continent, like trying to destroy the demons with your martial arts powers. And it's pretty dope.
Dude, I love this. I mean, it is exactly like you said. It's straightforward, just like 80s action pulp or whatever. But man, there's a reason why people like this stuff and why people keep making stories like this. Like, it might not be all that deep. Like, as deep as it gets is like it touches on themes of like loyalty and sacrifice and like fighting for justice, right? But I mean, it's popcorn, dude. But who doesn't like popcorn at a movie? Like, it's I don't know. I just feel like anything that's like super critical about this story is probably like missing the forest for the trees, right? It's super enjoyable. Kenji is the character that you first start out with, and Kenji is just like kind of a himbo justice guy.
Yeah,
And
he's
then-
a little plain Jane maybe.
yeah, a little plain Jane, right? And then teams up with Kumori from the Black Spider Clan, and it's like, enemies as teammates. And so they
Spices it
have
up a
great-
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, they just have these great back and forths, and while nothing there is super profound, it's just good kind of tag team story of two people who want to take down the demon lord and stop people from messing with demonic powers.
It's nice to
And-
have a straightforward just good versus evil. Although I mean there's a little bit of, because the girl's from like the evil clan, but then you join forces to like fight the real enemy, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice to have just like a straightforward narrative like that sometimes. It's kind of refreshing.
No, I totally agree. Like, I know it's really not in vogue right now to have like stories that are like pretty black and white in what they're trying to do. But yeah, sometimes it's just like, dude, just give me something easy to go with. Give me somebody to root for, and I'll root for them. And I think
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound does a really good job of that. Like, it doesn't have a super big cast of characters. It doesn't get deep. But people are likable enough. I think the actual, like, the writing and the dialogue, I think helps quite a lot here, where I think it very much fits the overall mood of the game, and it's well done. It very much, harkens back to the style from which they're drawing inspiration. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's that's kind of where I'm at. It's like it's a good time.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think the narrative's trying to do anything extra special here. It's just trying to be like an '80s action film, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We need more '80s action films in the theaters, in my opinion.
The closest thing we got are those Jason Statham movies, man.
That's true. That's true. There's
Have
some.
you watched The Beekeeper yet?
I still didn't watch The Beekeeper. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. You should watch it.
I think the closest thing we've gotten to like a good '80s action film is Top Gun Maverick recently.
Yeah.
I think the Mission Impossible movies, like those big marquee kind of action, like Mission Impossible, we still have Bond. Bond is somewhere. Who knows when it comes back? Who knows who the next Bond is? Bond kind of does some of that. Mission Impossible kind of does some of that, but I feel like they just went way too over the top, dude. It just got too big. They got too big for their britches, to be honest. The whole like AI thing, I was like so over it by the end of that last movie, and it's like 3 hours almost. But yeah, no, this was nice. It was nice and refreshing. And I think like fits well with what it's trying to do from a gameplay and like design perspective is this like harkening back to like Contra, like 2D side scroller action games like from the heyday. Contra being like the big one that comes to mind is like a big influencer. Obviously not with guns, but with like swords and like abilities and stuff. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I almost fell off this game, but I made it far enough to play as the chick.
Okay, yeah.
And then I was like back in.
Yeah.
And then light spoiler, like when you get kind of both the powers together without explaining how it happens, that's when I was like, okay, now it's like really opening up.
Yeah.
Now it's like really opening up. And I got to that point and I was like, okay, I kind of see where they're going here, and it started to like fit together. But before that, dude, like all I could focus on was the fact that I couldn't swing down with my stupid sword.
This is my one major criticism of this
Yes.
game.
Oh,
But I'll let you
dude,
finish
let's hear
your
it.
thought.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so we're moving into game design. We've kind of said our piece about the narrative.
Yeah.
And just to preface this, I enjoyed the heck out of this game, except you cannot swing your sword up or down. You can only swing it horizontally. And that drove me up a freaking wall. Like, this is like a super old school thing, I feel like, right? Where it's like, nope, you only got 2 directions to swing your blade. That's it.
Yep.
And if you're throwing kunai, you can throw kunai up, right? And you can throw kunai down, but it's like pretty cumbersome feeling. It doesn't feel all that great to do that. You are very much working with a 2-dimensional plane. I feel like it's forward or backwards. There were so many times that I wish I could swing the sword up. You can you don't have a double jump, but you could press the jump button a second time while you're in the air, and you can do like a spin and you can pogo off enemies, which was pretty important, I would say, for some of the platforming later on. But man, I just desperately wish I could have jumped and swung the blade upward. I think that would have made things... It almost feels silly asking for something like that, because the game is... feels like such a basic thing to have in a game. But I just think like the Game Kitchen, when they designed this, they probably had that and they're like, you know what? Take it away. Let's make this as old school as possible. And I didn't like that.
Yeah. That was a little too old school, I think. I don't think it would have impacted the game in a major way to give you like a down. I guess you do kind of have a down slash because it's like the jump deflection thingy, but not really. Dude, I think I honestly like the guys that killed me the most were the red ninjas that drop down like under you.
Yeah.
And they're like supposed to be one of the easier enemies, right? But like they drop down under you and I'm like, dude, I can't, like, I just want to like swing down and I can't do it.
Can't hit him. You could like crouch and swing, but that's still a horizontal swing.
Yeah, so I think the moment to moment gameplay is pretty good. in terms of like just the basic like run around and kill enemies in the level. It kind of feels like it was like a speed run, kind of run through like kill guys like as quickly as you can. There's not much strategy to it. It's like pretty spammy. The strategy, I guess there is like the tactics of when you kill certain enemies, you get a power up, and then that power up like aligns with using a power attack on an enemy that would take more than one hit to kill. And so you got to like time those correctly. And so there's a little bit of like a dance that you do there. But I think where this game like really shines is in the boss fights. Like the boss fights are challenging. Like I died many, many times on like several attempts. But like but do something that I thought like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown did really well, where they're really hard and you keep dying, but they give you just enough like pattern recognition where you can see like, okay, like I know what I need to do this. I just have to do it. So it doesn't feel like unfair or like spammy. It just kind of feels like, okay, I just need to lock in and like hit the patterns correctly. And they did like a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I really got hung up on one boss, the second to last boss. That one got me because there's one attack that I couldn't read the telegraphing for well. But I would say like, guys, like 95% of the bosses in this game are exactly what you said. They're really tough. As you go throughout the game, there's no way to like increase your health or damage output.
Yeah.
And the bosses get pretty dang tanky.
Yes.
The further you get into it. But it works precisely because of what you said, where it's like the patterns are readable and you just gotta, I mean, you get enough feedback every single attempt. And I feel like every time I actually beat a boss, it was like the first half of the health bar was like flawless or near flawless because I was just able to work with those patterns super well. And then the second half, you know, the boss will shake things up, and some attacks will have like slight variations. But what I loved about this is like I felt like I always did better in the second half because the first half, like the phase one, like trains you, it prepares you so well for what the second half can look like that I was just never really bothered by like the tankiness of bosses. Like bosses like on your like attempt where you win, I don't know, there was still probably like 4 minutes at most. So it's not like they were like these were excruciating long boss fights either. But yeah, you die a lot. I died a whole lot. But they were super well designed. You always felt like you were making progress.
Yeah, it gave that like nice. It's it's like when you fight a satisfying boss, like it's like you get that similar feeling like in Sekiro, or in like Jedi Fallen Order, where like you fight these bosses and they're tough, but you can like see how you need to do it, and then like it's one of those. This is what happens to me. It probably happens to most people. Like the time that you beat it, you like almost don't get hit because you just get locked in, right? Like when you finally get it done, it's like you don't get hit at all, even after going through like just getting destroyed. And that's a super satisfying feeling. So if you're looking for that, this game has it for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say, I mean, this game is super straightforward. I would say like in terms of movement and what you're doing, you can unlock like a ton of abilities. And there is some build crafting, but it's like pretty minimal. It's like you can do one special attack and one super attack. Like that's really where your customization comes down to. Also, you can like equip certain talismans. Some of them will be beneficial and some will provide debuffs, but at the end of the level, like you could get like a higher rank because you beat it with whatever the debuff was.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably one of the coolest and most clever things about the game design is that if you want to beat this game once, you can do it. If you want to beat this game, 9 times, you want different builds, you want to do all the secrets, and you want to get max rank on every level, there is a whole lot of it's not so much depth as it is just like
there's a lot of replayability.
Yeah, there's a ton of replayability. If you're interested in like an action platformer and like really mastering it, this game's got it in spades.
Jake, let's talk about impact on the industry, because I think there's an interesting conversation to be had on like, and indie games have done this a lot. But this is like just such a direct callback to an old school style of video game that like doesn't get made anymore. Dude, these seem like they're just a really effective use of dollars, like investment dollars.
Oh yeah.
Just to make something that takes an old school design like aesthetic and add some quality of life to it, add some modern flourishes and release it new. Just seems like almost like most of these just do really well. It seems like they're really well received and people are like excited to kind of play something that gives them that nostalgia, and it seems like they do well beyond that as well. Like to newer audiences. I don't have like the exact data to support that. That's just going off vibes. But this is just a fantastic example of that. Like the other one I was thinking of as I was playing this was Streets of Rage 4.
Ooh, yeah.
Which, you know, just takes that like classic beat 'em up formula and just upgrades it. And then we had the Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which was okay. It wasn't as good as Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4 was like really excellent. But yeah, just like this classic design, bringing it to modern times with some quality of life stuff just seems to do really well. And I think this is like a fantastic example of that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the model here is kind of a perfect combination. So the developers, the Game Kitchen. This is the Spanish studio that made Blasphemous 1 and 2, right?
Yep.
So you know that they're going to have high quality art style, and they're going to have really good game feel. The Game Kitchen has a lot of experience under the belt, and they make really good games, right? So that's your developer. The publisher is Dotemu, who publishes many games like this. So they also publish, for example, Streets of Rage 4. And then this was basically under the license of Koei Tecmo, who owns Ninja Gaiden.
Right.
And so to me, it's just like
match made in heaven.
Tecmo it's a match made in heaven. I would love to know this. And again, I'm speculating here, but it just seems to me that Koei Tecmo's like, hey, we like these guys at the Game Kitchen. It seems like they do a pretty good job at this type of game. What if we gave them a license to make a Ninja Gaiden game? Just like a 5-6 hour game that kind of calls back our roots. And it almost feels silly because it's like, what if we just outsource like the responsibility of making a modern iteration of one of our retro games? And I think on paper people might be critical of that, but like in practice, it's like, dude, this game rules. Streets of Rage 4 rules. Like, and it's kind of a slam dunk for all of those parties involved. So I'm like, this seems like a really great model. You have an indie developer that gets a contract for a big license. You have a publisher that gets to strengthen their repertoire and portfolio of games that they've published. And you get to make your retro fans happy that they get a new installment in a franchise that you don't have time to make games for. So I'm like, am I wrong here? Somebody tell me I'm wrong. And
No.
This is crazy, but it seems like it works, right?
And look, like, is this game going to make $1 billion? No. But it probably wasn't that expensive to make in relative to like AAA titles, right? They probably made it quicker. They were probably able to add, you know, like, and it's doing really well. Like super, I think it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam. I think, I can actually check it. Anyway, it has a lot of very positive reviews, but, yeah. And this is, also on Game Pass. So fantastic from that perspective, but yeah, dude, this is like, we were talking about models earlier. This seems like a model that like works, where you can keep people working. You can make something that, and obviously it's not a multiplayer game. It's like a little bit apples and oranges, but from a strategic perspective, it just seems to make a lot of sense. It just seems to make a lot of sense. And like things are set up in a way where it seems like they can be successful. It's just the higher chance to be successful and for people to like keep their jobs, right? Like keep people employed and like make the company, the businesses involved, like a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's what I like about this model is you have like an indie developer, a mid-size, maybe smallish publisher, and then like a big video game company, and they all seem to benefit from this like in different ways, but it all makes each of those components, I feel like a little bit more sustainable. Like this is why, in my opinion, like the Game Kitchen is quickly growing into like this incredible indie studio. They're getting opportunities like this, and obviously they cut their own chops with something like Blasphemous.
Yep.
But to me, this is like, and I feel like it's one of those things that it just kind of, the more success you have, it compounds, right? Like if you have, like let's say the Game Kitchen has like 4 games that are, well, let's see, Blasphemous 1, 2, let's name them, Ninja Gaiden, Ragebound, and they also made the Stone of Madness. Now the Stone of Madness didn't do amazing, right?
Right.
But those other 3 games
Cool
did.
idea, though. Yeah.
It was a super, I wanted to like that game so much. But anyway, so you have 3 out of 4 games that are hits. Them having one that wasn't a hit didn't sink them, because they can just kind of, live off the tail of the success of the other games that they've had.
Right.
And it just seems like that studio's in a super stable scenario, right? You're right. It is a little apples and oranges. I don't know how something like this would work for High Guard, but I don't know. It's working for these folks with what they're doing here, right?
Yeah, I mean, a different type of game that wants to be made, right? But so you'd have to find the unique model that works from that perspective. But the one that Highguard followed is not working.
Yeah.
And that's not a shot at any of the developers who worked there whatsoever. This stuff is like very complicated. And I'm not sitting here saying that I have the answers, right? Like we're just armchair podcasters. But it's very self-evident that it's not working. So we need something different. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, fantastic spin-off to a cool franchise. I actually haven't played like any of the other Ninja Gaiden games very much. I didn't play the new one, although I'm actually kind of tempted to go play Ninja Gaiden 4, even though it kind of had like a mediocre response. But after playing this, I'm actually more tempted to go try that one out, and ironically, like the new one. So, but with that said, ladies and gentlemen, this is our episode on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. If you like the show, please leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. Helps people find the show. Support us directly, patreon.com/PreorderCast. You can sign up for Jake's Indie Pass to get indie impressions episodes only on Patreon. You can get access to extended editions of our regular episodes, which will include an extended edition version of today's episode where we'll continue the conversation talking about more stuff that I can't remember in this current moment. And then you can also sign up. We also get special topics episodes as well. So a whole bunch of extra content if you go sign up on the Patreon. Watch Jake stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/ChipDip18. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night.